boys and girls. Welcome to your next lesson in Chapter 3 Math, Multiplication. We are going to talk about how multiplication and addition are related. So before I begin the lesson on 3.2, I need you to make sure you have your Math Chapter 3 books and a pencil. So go ahead and get your Math Chapter 3 books and a pencil. And once you have your math book, go ahead and turn to page 145. Go ahead and turn to 145. Okay, let's get started. So your math paper should look like my paper that I have right now. So we're going to figure out how multiplication and addition are related to one another. So let's look at unlock the problem. It says Tamika needs 3 apples to make 1 loaf of apple bread. Each loaf has the same number of apples. How many apples does Tamika need to make 4 loaves? Okay, well let's answer some questions. The first thing I need to do is I need to look at what that question is asking me to do because I'm going to have to solve a problem. So how many loaves is Tamika making? Well, let's go back to our question and figure out how many loaves she wants to make. Well, I know in my last sentence it says how many apples does Tamika need to make 4 loaves. So she wants to make 4 loaves. Make sure you're following along with me and writing what I write. My next question says, how many apples are in each loaf? Well, we need to see that because that's important. We need to know how many apples are going to be in each loaf so we know how many apples we're going to need to have. At the top it says Tamika needs 3 apples to make 1 loaf. So for every loaf that she makes, she's going to need 3 apples. She's going to need 3 apples. And then it says, how are you going to solve the problem? Well, there's different ways that you can solve this problem. You can draw a picture, you can use a number line or a 100s board, and you can skip count by 3s 4 times. That's what I'm going to write. We're going to skip count by 3s 4 times because we need 3 apples for each loaf. But we have 4 loaves that we need to do. So we're going to skip count by 3s 4 times. That's just one way that you can figure out how to solve the problem. I also told you that you could draw a picture, and we're going to write that down here. Now, we have 4 loaves. So you can see that these huge circles, each circle represents 1 loaf of bread. So I have 1 loaf, 2 loaves, 3 loaves, 4 loaves. In this picture, in the first loaf, you can see 3 counters, 3 little circles. Those stand for the apples. You remember from the question that it takes 3 apples to make 1 loaf of bread. So, I need to make another loaf of bread. So how many apples am I going to need to make another loaf of bread? 3. 1, 2, 3. Now I have 2 loaves. I'm on to my 3rd loaf. 1 apple, 2 apple, 3 apple. How many apples are you going to need to make your 4th loaf? 3. Good job. Now, I need to find the number of counters. Here's how you can see that addition is related to multiplication. Because all I have to do is add each one of these counters. I have 3 in my first loaf, which is 3. I have another 3 in my second most, which is 3. I have another 3 in my third most. And how many do I have in my fourth most? 3. All we did, boys and girls, is add 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3. Well, what is that answer? Let's count. 3 plus 3 is 6. 6 plus 3 is 9. And 9 plus 3 is 12. So my answer is 12. So Tamika needs 12 apples to make how many loaves of bread? 4. So you just did addition to help with what you learn in multiplication. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3. All right, great job, boys and girls. Let's go on to our next page. So go on to page 146. Turn to page 146. Now, before we begin on this page, I see a few yellow words that I think are important that we talk about. And the first word is the word multiply. Now, when we multiply, we combine equal groups to find how many in all. Well, all that saying, boys and girls, is we have groups. This is a group, this is a group, and this is a group. And every single group is equal. You can see there's 2 in group 1, 2 in group 2, 2 in group 3. And then we find how many we have all together, in all. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You can see the answer right here. There's 6 pumpkins all together. That's multiplication, where we combine equal groups to find how many in all. And our multiplication sentence can be written 2, I have 2 pumpkins, times 3 equals our total, which is 6. So that's multiply. It says when you combine equal groups, you can multiply to find how many in all. So let's think about it. 4 groups of 3. They want us to draw 3 counters in each circle. So let's go ahead and do that now. The first one has been done for you. So 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Now, since there's the same number of counters in each circle, we can now multiply to find how many there are in all. You notice, boys and girls, that in multiplication, every single group has to have the same amount of counters. They all have to equal. So if this has 3, then every other group has to have 3 in it. If it doesn't have an equal amount in each group, then you made a mistake. So, multiplication is another way to find how many there are all together in equal groups. So I have how many groups? Let's count. 1 group, 2 group, 3 group, 4 group. So I have 4 groups times how many are in each group? Well, 1, 2, 3. There's 3 in each group. 4 times 3, boys and girls, equals 12. Well, let's double check. Let's make sure that they have the right answer. All you have to do is count the counters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 is the answer to 4 times 3. Now, you may see it written sideways, or you may see it written up and down. Well, there are more vocabulary words we need to talk about. Boys and girls, you can see that they have these words written under order these numbers? Well, this 4 and this 3, we call them factors. We call them factors. A factor is a number that is multiplied by another number to find a product. So the numbers we multiply are called factors. So 4 is a factor and 3 is a factor. We call them factors. Now, it says the number that is multiplied by another to find the product. Well, boys and girls, product is another vocabulary word. The word product is the answer to a multiplication problem. So if I say, what is the product of 4 times 3, you would tell me the answer, which is 12. So we have factors, the numbers that we multiply, and the answer in multiplication is called the product. All right, let's move on. Let's look down at the bottom for share and show, and let's do some of these problems together. Number 1 says, write related addition and multiplication sentences for the model. Well, let's look. I have how many groups? 1, 2, 3, 4. If you look down at your multiplication problem down here, you can see 1 group, 2 groups, 3 groups, 4 groups. And it before your equal sign. I have to write down how many counters I have in each group. So let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 5 counters in the first group. If this problem is set up correctly, I should have 5 counters in each group. Because remember, in multiplication, you have to have equal groups. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So all I did, boys and girls, was count 5 plus 5 plus 5 plus 5. So what is that? 5 plus 5 I know is 10, and 10 plus 5 is 15, and 15 plus 5 is 20. I could also use my counters if I didn't know how to count by 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Now I have my addition problem. I need to set up my multiplication problem. Well, how do I do that? Whenever you find your multiplication problem, you need to look back at your addition sentence. The first number, my first factor I'm going to put on my line is how many groups I have. How many groups do you see, boys and girls? 1 group, 2 groups, 3 groups, 4 groups. So my first factor is going to be 4. That's the number of groups you have. My next factor is how many are in each group. Well, we've already decided that. How many are in each group, boys and girls? 5. There's 5 in each group. 4 times 5 is 20. Your addition sentences and your multiplication sentences, they're related. So you should get the same answer, 20 and 20. You can also check your work. If it's a 5, you all know how to count by 5. You could count by 5 4 times. 5, 10, 15, 20. And you got 20. Great job. Okay, let's go try some more. Turn to page 147. Okay, let's go ahead and complete number 2. So we have 3 groups of 6. So that means I need to make 3 groups. make nice big circles. Make 3 nice big circles. And boys and girls, when you make groups, you want to make on a pretty good size because you don't want to make circles like this because you would never be able to put 6 in each circle. Or if you would, they would be so tiny and you would probably mess up on your counting. So don't make circles like that. That's no. All right, so we have 3 groups, 1, 2, 3, and we have 6 in each group. So you need to put 6 counters in each group. So go ahead and do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, when you put your counters in your group, you want to make sure that it's nice and neat and organized, and that each circle or each group looks about the same. Okay? This will help you when you're counting. This will help you keep track of your counting. So we have 3 groups, 1, 2, 3, and we have 6 in each group. Remember I told you in multiplication you have to have equal groups, so they have to have the same amount in each group. Now let's write a related addition sentence that goes with our picture. So we have our groups, 1 group, 2 groups, 3 groups. So you have 3 groups before the equal sign. On the line, you're going to put how many on each group? Well, there's 6 in each group, so we got to add 6 plus 6 plus 6. Good job. Now, let's add them. 6 plus 6 is 12, and 12 plus 6 is what? Well, if you don't know, you could stack it. 12 plus 6, and 2 plus 6 is 8. 1 plus nothing is 1, and get 18. Or you could simply count all of your counters. I know there's 6 in this first one. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So 6 plus 6 plus 6 equals 18. Now we can write a related multiplication fact. So my first factor, remember factors are the numbers that we multiply to get our answer to a multiplication problem. My first factor is how many groups I have. My first factor is my groups. Well, how many groups do you see? 1, 2, 3. You see 3 groups. How many are in each group? 6. Boys and girls, 3 times 6 is 18. Remember that addition and multiplication are related, so you will get the same answer. If you don't get the same answer, then you made a mistake. So you need to make sure you go back and look to see if you can find where something went wrong. All right, let's try another one. Let's look at number 3. We have 2 groups of 3. So go ahead, draw your 2 groups. 1 group, 2 groups. And how many are in each one? You guessed it, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Now let's write our addition sentence that matches our picture. We have 2 groups, 1 group, 2 groups, and I have 3 in each group. 3 plus 3. Well, boys and girls, what is 3 plus 3? That's a doubles fact. You should know your doubles facts. 3 plus 3 is 6. Good job. Now let's write a multiplication sentence that matches our picture and our addition sentence. Remember, my first factor is my groups. How many groups did we have? Oh, no. We have 2. Good job. And how many are in each group? 1, 2, 3. 3. So, boys and girls, 2 times 3 is 6. Fantastic. Let's go down to number 4. Look at number 4. 4 1 group, 2 group, 3 group, 4 group. And how many is going to be in each group? You guessed it, 2. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Make sure you're following along and doing everything on your paper that I'm doing on mine. Let's write our related addition sentence. Remember, these are groups. We add how many counters are in each group. My first group has 2, and 2, and 2, and 2. Can you count by 2? Let's try it. 2, 4, 6, 8. Our answer to this addition problem is 8. How would I set up my related multiplication problem? Do you remember what this first factor is? If you said that it's a number of groups, you are correct. How many groups do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4. Plus it tells us 4 groups. So my first factor is 4. And how many are in each group? 2. 4 times 2, boys and girls, is 8. Good job. Pause the video and let's see if you can try to do number 5 on your own. Unpause the video when you're finished to see if you came up with the same answer that I came up with. Okay, boys and girls, check your answer. We have 5 groups, and I have 4 in each group. You can see that I'm making my groups all the same. They are all nice, neat, and organized. I know that I have 5 groups and 4 in each group. I know that 4 plus 4 is 8. 8 plus 4 is 12. 12 plus 4 is 16. And 16 plus 4 is 20. So my answer is 20. To come up with your multiplication problem, I know my first factor is always my groups. So I have 5 groups times 4 equals, well, if I was unsure, I know how to count by 5, and I can count by 5 4 times. 5, 10, 15, 20. My answer is 20. And I know I'm right, boys and girls, because my 2 addition and multiplication sentences match. Did you get the same answer that I got? If you did, give yourself a pat on the back. If you didn't, go check to see what you did wrong. Okay, let's look at number 6. Number 6, 7, 8, and 9 are all story problems. So let's see if we can figure out our story problem. Alright, so it says Zach buys 4 packs of pens. Each pack has 4 pens. Write a multiplication sentence to show how many pens Zach buys. Well, let's draw a picture. How many packs of pens do we have? Let's look. I have 4 packs of pens. So that means I need to have 4 groups of pens. So for your groups, just go ahead and draw those circles. 4 groups. And we know that each of the packs has 4 pens in them. So each pack is going to have 4 pens. So go ahead and draw your 4 pens in each pack. So we drew our picture. Now let's write our multiplication sentence. Our groups are 4, and we have 4 pens in each group. Well, what is 4 times 4? You can solve it several ways. You could count all of your counters. you could use the addition strategy, which is adding 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4. But to make things simple, let's just go ahead and count our dots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So 16 is your answer. So how many pens does that buy? He buys 16. Boys and girls, there are some clue words in this math reasoning problem. Whenever you see the word each, that should trigger your memory that you need to multiply. Okay? And you see the word how many. Well, you know in story problems, if we see the word how many, we know that we need to add. Well, if you see how many in each, you know that you need to multiply. Remember when you add, your numbers get bigger. Your answer is big. When you multiply, your answer is going to be big. Your answer gets bigger. All right, let's look at number 7. It says Ada has 3 vases. She puts 5 flowers in each vase. Write a multiplication sentence to show how many flowers Ada puts in the vases. Okay, well, let's draw it out. So let's draw. She has 3 vases. So go ahead and draw your 3 vases. And how many flowers were in each vase? How many flowers were in each vase? 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we draw our picture. Now let's write our multiplication sentence. We have how many groups? The first factor is your groups. We have 3 groups. And we have 5 in each group. Boys and girls, we're multiplying by a 5. We could add 5 3 times. We could count all the counters. Or since it's a 5 and I know you're really good at counting by 5, we could count by 5 3 times. Let's try it. 5, 10, 15. Our answer is 15. Great job. All right, now let's look at number 8 and number 9. It says go deeper. These are a lot harder story problems. They want to try to see if they can trick you to see if you know how to solve this problem. But I know that you guys can solve this problem. It says Mrs. Tomar buys 2 packs of vanilla yogurt and 3 packs of strawberry yogurt. Each pack has 4 yogurts. How many yogurts did Mrs. Tomar buy? Well, I say we draw a picture. I know she has 2 packs of vanilla yogurt, so I'm going to draw 2 packs. And I know she has 3 packs of strawberry yogurt, so let's draw our 3 packs. Well, now we need to figure out how many yogurts are in each pack. Excuse me. So I go back up to my problem, and it says each pack has 4 yogurts. So each pack, I need to put my 4 yogurts in. Okay, boys and girls. Well, how many yogurts does Mrs. Tomar buy? Well, let's write a multiplication sentence. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 groups times I have 4 in each group equals, well, I could count my counters, or, boys and girls, it's a 5. I could count by 5 4 times. Let's try it. 5, 10, 15, 20. My answer should be 20. You can check it just to make sure. I know here's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. There are 20 yogurts right, let's try one more before we go to our last page. It says Mary buys 3 packs of red peppers and 4 packs of green peppers. Each pack has 4 peppers. How many peppers does Mary buy? Well, let's draw a picture. I have my 3 packs of red peppers and my 4 packs of green peppers. And I have 4 peppers in each pack. So go ahead and draw 4 peppers in each of your packs. Great job. So let's write our multiplication sentence. How many packs of peppers do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have 7 packs of peppers because remember I have 3 red and 4 green times, well, how many peppers are in each group? 4. So I need to figure out what 7 times 4 is. Well, I could add 4 7 times, or you could just count your counters. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. 7 times 4 is 28. Great job, boys and girls. Let's go on to page 148. Okay, boys and girls, let's finish our last page in math. We're on page 148 now. This is all problem solving. So, let's look at number 10. It says Morris bought 4 peaches. How much do the peaches weigh? Write a multiplication sentence to find the weight of the peaches. Well, we know he bought 4 peaches. So we're going to write 4, okay? And we want to know how much each peach weighed. So let's come over here to our frequency table, and let's find peach. Here's peach, and here is the number in ounces. Well, how many ounces does each peach weigh? 3. So we want to do 4 times 3. Well, how can we solve that problem? Let's draw it out. We have 4 groups for our 4 peaches. So go ahead and draw your 4 peaches. And we know that each one weighs 3 ounces. 1, 2, 3. So go ahead and put 3 of your counters in each of your peaches. All right, well, what is 4 times 3? I know that we can add all of our counters together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So totally 4 peaches equal 12 ounces altogether for a total amount. All right, let's look at number 11. It says Thomas bought 2 apples. Sydney bought 4 bananas. Which weighed more, the 2 apples or the 4 bananas? How much more? Explain how you know. Boys and girls, that's a lot of information. So let's go ahead and break it down. I want to know how much things weigh. So I have to find out, first we have Thomas. Thomas bought 2 apples. So I'm going to write a T for Thomas, okay? I know that he bought 2 apples. And I have to figure out how much each apple weighs. So I go back up to the frequency chart, and I see apples weigh 6 ounces. So 2 times 6. Well, let's figure that out. You have a couple ways to solve this. You can count up 6 2 times. You can draw 2 groups, or you can count by 2s 6 times. So I'm going to draw a picture and put 6 in each group. 2 times 6 is 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 ounces. Or I could go 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. All right, we're not finished yet because we have to compare Thomas and Sydney, but we have to find out how much Sydney's weigh. So I'm going to put an S for Sydney. Sydney, she bought 4 bananas. Well, so she bought 4 bananas. I know that. And I'm going to multiply because I want to find out how much each one weighed. So 4 times bananas is 4. Okay, well let's do 4 times 4. I'm going to draw my 4 groups, boys and girls. You can do the same. And I'm going to put 4 in each group. Here we go. Let's count them. 4 and 4 I know is 8. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So Sydney, her bananas weigh 16 ounces. Okay, let's go figure out this question. Which weighed more? The 2 apples or the 4 bananas? Well, what do you think, boys and girls? The 2 apples weighed 12 ounces, and the 4 bananas weighed 16 ounces. So which one weighed more? Which one was heavier? If you said 4 bananas, you're correct. So the 4 bananas weighed more. So you should write 4 bananas weighed more. Well, I figured out one question, but I have a couple more to go. How much more? Well, how much more do you add or subtract? It's almost like how many more. I know that the words how much more tell me to subtract. So let's go ahead and subtract 16 minus our 12. 6 minus 2 is 4, and 1 minus 1 is 0. So the bananas weighed 4 ounces more. So go ahead and write that. The bananas weighed 4 ounces more. Great job, boys and girls. We have 3 more problems to go. We're almost finished. It says, explain how you know. But boys and girls, we're not going to explain it. We've already done it. We figured out how we knew that by completing these multiplication sentences at the beginning. We found out that Thomas has his apples weigh 12 ounces and that Sally bananas weigh 16 ounces. So that's how we know. Let's look at number 12. It says Shane said that he could write related multiplication and addition sentences for 6 plus 4 plus 3. Does Shane's statement make sense? Explain. Well, boys and girls, it says that multiplication and addition sentences need to be related. It says that he wants to make related multiplication and addition sentences. We know from the beginning of our lesson, and even from yesterday's lesson, that anytime we do multiplication with addition, we need to make sure that we have all equal groups. That means all of my numbers are going to be equal, the same. Does Shane's sentence make sense? Are all of his numbers the same? No, they're not. So there's no way, boys and girls, that his addition sentence can be related to multiplication sentence. So we're going to write no. So we have to be able to explain it. We're going to say no, his addition sentence does not relate to a multiplication sentence. addends, which we know from chapter 1, these are called addends, the numbers we add together. The addends are not equal. Remember addition and multiplication. The addends would all have to be equal. They would all have to be the same number for it to relate to multiplication. And Shane did not have that. Let's look at number 13. It says write a word problem that can be solved using 3 times 4. Solve the problem. So boys and girls, you can come up with any word problem you want to. Well, let's think of some. Well, let's come up with a name. I see a lot of our word problems have names. So let's come up with a name. Let's say Sue. That's a short, easy name. Sue. Let's say that she made, we know our first factor is groups. Let's say Sue made 3 stacks of coins. And let's say she put 4 coins. That's where I get my 4. She put 4 coins in each stack. Remember, the word each is a plural word for multiplication. What's my other clue word for multiplication? You guessed it. How many? How many coins does she have in all? Well, let's solve this problem. I have 3 stacks of coins times 4 coins in each stack. Let's draw a picture. 3 groups. 4 in each group. Which is a total of what? 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 coins. Now, boys and girls, I just made that one up. You can write your own word problem if you would like to. You can come up with something completely different than mine. But that's just one we did together. Alright, we have one more to go. It says think smarter. I know you're already thinking smarter, so let's go ahead and tackle our last one. It says select the number sentences that represent the model at the right. Mark all that apply. Well, let's think about this. I have how many groups? Let's count our big circles. 1 group, 2 groups, 3 groups. So I know I have 3 groups, okay? And how many do I have in each group? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I know this could be one of my problems. I have 3 groups. Remember, my first factor is my groups. And my second factor is how many are in each group. Well, how many are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Do we have any that match that? We do. We have C. The letter C matches that. Okay. I know from the beginning of the lesson we talked about how addition is related to multiplication. So let's make an addition sentence. I have my first group, which has how many? 6. Plus, I can even put a plus sign here. My second group has 6 in it. Plus, my third group has 6 in it. Equals, well, if it's right and it relates to my multiplication sentence, it should equal 18. Do you see another problem that matches that? I sure do. It's letter B. Great job. Well, let's look at A and B. Why did we choose those? Oh, remember that addition and multiplication have to relate if they are equal groups. Well, 3 and 6, they certainly don't equal to me. Remember, when our multiplication sentence, all the addends have to be the same. 3 and 6 are not the same, and plus my answer is 9. I had to get 18. Well, look at B. What's wrong with B? If you said just like A, you're exactly right. My addings are not the same. And plus, my answer is 9. I needed to have 18. That is not correct. Boys and girls, you did a fantastic job with me on this lesson today. You just learned how addition and multiplication are related. The best thing that you can do for multiplication is, number 1, know your addition facts. If you know your addition facts, multiplication will be much easier. And get ready. Go start studying those multiplication facts. Great job, boys and girls. If you ever are confused about what this lesson was about, or one of the problems you were confused about, go ahead and watch this video again if you need to.